Here's how an early run of Fear and Hunger Termina will go for you. You begin on a train, dozing off to yourself, only to be greeted by a strange girl. Quickly, you follow after her, but find yourself in a hellish landscape, where immediately you are chased by a disturbing janitor, who then proceeds to cut off your legs. But this is not game over. Eventually, he leaves you alone, and you crawl your way out of the room before emerging on a strange platform, where a mysterious man welcomes you to the festival of Termina. Termina is how some other people would start the video, but unlike them, I actually beat the game. So instead, I shall start it like this. Termina is upon us. Fear and Hunger 2 Termina. Yeah, that's right, I'm doing the second one first. Suck eggs. Practically everyone and their mother has talked about Hunger 1, so I find it only appropriate I carry the burden of talking about the second one. Or that's what I would have said if Mr. Dog didn't go and make a video in between me writing the script. Whatever. Maybe I can piggyback off the traction. Just so you know though, I was first. Well, aside from... Regardless, allow me to take you on a journey into the dark world of Termina. Starting off, let's pick our character. For me, it was an obvious choice. The scumbag journalist Karen Sawyer. You know, I think after that NG video, I'm really starting to reveal my type for scumbags. After choosing your character, you're greeted with a sort of choose-your-own-adventure minigame kind of thing, which fills out your backstory as well as lets you pick your skills, which is really cool. I think more games should try and do this. Skipping through, yada yada yada, you watch the intro. We meet up outside of the train for a neat little scene, which actually has some differences depending on who you pick, which I find pretty cool. And then after that, you're off.
Shouldn't you bother trying to actually explain the story?
Ramen gas experiment.
Are you trying to be stupid, or just born that way?
You wanna get mouthy with me, buddy? Why don't you do it?
Sure, why not? I'm bored. So, you start off on a train making its way to the old village of Prehavel, your average armor-worshipping sort. But of course, before you can even get there, your sleep is interrupted. You notice a young girl carving symbols into the floor before her running away. After following her and getting acquainted with the janitor and making your desperate escape from him, you meet a mysterious man who calls himself Berkeley. He explains that you are to be contestants in a mysterious festival of Termina, in which you will have 3 days to kill your fellow contestants. After healing your wounds, he casts you back into the train as it comes to its final stop. See, wasn't that much better?
Yeah, wise ass. Anyways, that's something I really like about this game. There's a bit of exposition at the start, but after that it's up for you to forge the story for yourself. Which sounds bad at first, until you realize how much depth there actually is to it. At this point, there's many ways you could go, and I don't want to spoil that magic for you, so I'll instead say this. There's 3 key points of interest for you right now. The bunker, the mayor's house, and these locked city gates. Each of these 3 key places will hold something you might need. But it might not be so obvious at this point. A lot of the game is more focused on exploring this dark, gothic environment, So make sure to take in your surroundings, read all the notes, try to talk to everyone that doesn't want to immediately kill you. However, what if I told you you didn't need to go to any of those things? What if I rewound instead and picked Olivia? Managed to score myself a book of Venushka and some crayons. Now, my actions may seem kind of inane right now, but if I make my way up to this building with bodies strewn around it, and use the book I picked up with a bit of chalk, then a new path opens. Depending on who you play and how you approach the game, your outcomes may be entirely different. The same goes for fights too. I could just try and attack the chest on this guy, but then that leaves me open to counterattacks from both of his hands. If instead I try and take out an arm, then I only get hit once, but I still get infected by the other one. Or, screw all that, if I take my time to talk to the guy, I can just get him to stop attacking me. This sort of depth really makes Termina stand out from other games. The game itself is probably only about 12 hours on a normal playthrough. Can be done in 2 though. But I can testify I've spent over 60 hours just trying different ways and testing different things to see the differences.
Some of us have spent a little more.
Yeah. Each of the characters in this game feel really fleshed out. For basically one-man team, the cast of 14 characters each feels compelling and unique. Some of my favorites being Karen, who you know already, Don, this depressed doctor, and Pav, this stupid sexy Nazi.
Community service is not hot. Rehab, that's not hot. Jail is not hot. Hillary Duff is not hot. I'm thin, I'm blonde, and my coke is from Cuba. Your tan comes straight from the bottle, bitch, mine comes straight from Aruba.
I figure I should probably talk about the time limit I mentioned earlier. Earlier, Percolate explained to us we only have 3 days. But what does that mean? So the way saving is handled in this game most of the time is by making your way to one of the beds strewn about the map and taking a little nap that advances the clock. Thank God there is no Crow Mauler. Anyways, when you sleep, it advances the clock one sort of shift? I can't figure out the best way to describe it. But basically, if you sleep at morning, it advances to evening. You sleep at evening, it goes to night, and then night to the next morning. Making it so you only have about 7 saves, I think. Don't quote me on that. Once these are up, well, let's just say something interesting happens. However, you may have noticed I said most of the time. There is actually another way to save in Termina. Across the map are bookshelves. These are your best friends. Books in this game are overpowered. You've already seen what the Book of Venushka can do, so you have an idea of some of the effects. The only ones I'll tell you about now are the Skin Bible of the God in Fear and Hunger, the Book of Enlightenment, and the Alchemilla Volume 1. The Skin Bible of the God in Fear and Hunger is the most overpowered book ever, letting you place down a save at any summoning sigil, and if you have Marina's skill Engrave, you can carve it onto your face for a huge speed boost, which combined with the speed boost you can get from the Hexen table, literally gives you another turn. So, you know, I actually started not allowing it in my later playthroughs, because it just felt so overpowered. The Book of Enlightenment is very good as well, offering a free save when read, although it does crumble to pieces, so you only get 1 use per book, unless you mod it in, but come on. Finally, that brings us to the Alchemilla reading. This one gives crafting recipes for useful potions. Wait, please, don't go. No. I can hear you all getting up to leave. Come on, the crafting's really not that bad, and it's just a useful mechanic. Crafting items are strewn about throughout the map, and you'll want to be getting everything anyway. It is an RPG Maker game. And an exploration game. Speaking of mods, I just want to shout out one of my favorite mods. One of my favorite mods for this game I found on the Steam community. It's a journalism mod for Karen, and all it does is it gives you the ability to take photos in combat, which serves zero purpose. So you can get that true journalist experience. The next update, I plan to do a run with Karen, where I have to photograph everything that I see before fighting. I think it'd be pretty funny. Well, I think that's about everything I can say without giving too much. I hope this in some way gets you to play Termina. It's up there as one of my favorite games. From the combat to the exploration to the characters to the monsters, this game's really good. Like, really, really good. The other reason I'm making this video is because all the spotlight recently has been on Original Fear and Hunger, which, don't get me wrong, is great. I love Hunger 1, but I feel like Miro really improved by a long shot with Termina. And this is coming from someone that's been a supporter a long way back. I remember playing the demo for Termina and going like, holy shit. Oh, speaking of Miro, if you're watching this video, Miro, because I know you like to, playable Tanaka when? Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. I know this video was a bit more cluttered than some of the other ones, but I felt like I couldn't really do the original style of videos with a game like this. Speaking of, if you want any more Termina content, check out my friend Lavunavel's channel. They recently did a fist-only run with Dawn, and it's pretty good. Also, they're the other person's voice you've been hearing.
Hi all, it is I, Lunavel.
By the way, if you want me to make any more Termina content, because I could go more in depth, this is just a more so kind of play Termina video. Leave a like or a comment, and if there is any support, I will try and push some more stuff out. I'd like to do a video more on the transformations and what exactly they mean and stuff like that. But anyways, I'll stop rambling for now. Peace.